It's been a really, really bad week for Bob Iger and the Walt Disney Company. You thought Kathleen Kennedy was having a bad time? Oh, you've not seen anything yet. The script for the Marvels has leaked. Nobody cares. We've got the proof. We've got the receipts. And guess what? Ike Perlmutter and Nelson Peltz have teamed up into a duo of doom for Disney. And everybody cares. And we'll show that to you right now. Hello folks, welcome back to another wonderful video here on the WDW Pro channel. Happy to have each and every one of you, and happy to have Valiant Renegade back as well. Mr. Renegade, welcome, sir.
Good to be back.
Happy to have you, and Valiant, why don't you take us through a little bit of memory lane. Tell us why it's been bad the last few days for Disney.
Well, apart from the obvious with the South Park fallout, pointing a lot of fingers, and certainly South Park did their yeoman's work as they usually do in trying to present two sides of the coin, but certainly seeming to give more of the slight to Disney in this one. But of course, we've got an earnings call coming up. Nothing is going right with the Marvels and ticket pre-sales. This is just more failure theater for Disney. And of course, we've got the November 8th earnings call coming up here in just about 8 days.
Those CGI dwarfs went over real well, right, Valiant?
Yeah, that Snow White thing didn't really help much either, moving that entire theatrical slate. And now, you know, people are going to start asking questions why, perhaps in the next few days, if Disney manages to settle the SAG-AFTRA thing. So
that's right. It's going to get worse, folks. We're going to tell you tomorrow here on this channel how their next animated feature is actually projected to flop. So, boy, doesn't this just get better and better. Oh, wait, it gets worse. Here we go. Out of the New York Post by Ariel Zilber, ex-Marvel boss Ike Perlmutter joins forces with Nelson Peltz in Disney battle. Former Marvel boss Ike Perlmutter has given fellow billionaire Nelson Peltz control over his voting shares of the Walt Disney Company, setting the stage for a renewed proxy war with the Mouse House boss Bob Iger. Perlmutter, the billionaire investor who was unceremoniously fired, I'd say ceremoniously, by Disney earlier this year, as head of the comic books division, through his support behind Peltz, as the company's stock remains mired near 9-year lows. And here's the fascinating quote we've got out of Mr. Perlmutter, who was Mr. Marvel, who was the guy who seems to have kept Kevin Feige in check for so long. Perhaps he was the secret sauce all along. While I was a Disney employee, I was not comfortable publicly stating my views on the company and its performance. Perlmutter, who sold Marvel to Disney for $4 billion in 2009 and remains one of the company's largest independent shareholders, told the Wall Street Journal on Sunday, as someone with a large economic interest in Disney's success, I can no longer watch the business underachieve its great potential. Now, Valiant, one of the things that people are getting confused about here is they are assuming that this means that Peltz has additional power beyond what we already knew about. That does not seem to be the case. What does seem to be the case is that Mr. Perlmutter had already given those shares over to Peltz. That was already calculated into this, and that's how Mr. Peltz has tripled the number of shares as he did back in January. That said, it looks to me like this is one heck of a duo in terms of the potential to change Disney. I am curious what's going to happen with folks like Eisner, with folks like George Lucas, who has seen his Star Wars franchise destroyed, his studio turned into a hive of villainy, vermin, and venom. Valiant, what make you of this pairing now of Peltz and Perlmutter?
Well, I've been speculating for quite some time this was going to happen. Ike Perlmutter has been out there for some time talking about this. Peltz, obviously, as well. We know that those two are very connected and have been for some time. So I think this was something that was almost a foregone conclusion. And turning over his proxy to Nelson Peltz, it seems like this was going to happen at some point. I didn't expect it quite this soon, but it does make a lot of sense trying to get this out in the ether prior to the earnings call.
Well, it's a match made in heaven for those who want Disney changed. It's a match made in Bob Iger hell if you're on the board. What do you think these two guys want?
Well, I think, as they've stated previously, I think they want to look at this and see Disney get back to their roots. I think they want to see Disney be profitable again. I think, in all their different divisions. I think they want to see a lot of budgets reined in, and I think that they want to see the creativity restored to Disney that used to drive that above the line. I think they want to see that metric get back to Disney to where everything they put out is a big success, is a big hit. Disney's faltering. They're flailing right now. They have been for some time, regardless of what market share may suggest. That doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is how successful are you being in terms of returning a profit to stockholders? And they've had a lot of trouble in that department.
ROI. Well, Valiant, the curiosity I have, I suppose, is that Bob Iger was seen as a wunderkind kind of CEO for decades. And somehow something has changed now. Bob Iger seems to have lost the magic touch. Midas has left his hands. So what is it that has resulted in a situation where Bob Iger, once the golden boy of all of entertainment, no longer can do what he once did?
I think it's due to the fact of his own hubris and arrogance, his desire to be regarded by his legacy, and it got so bad that I think he started making very poor decisions, thinking that everything that he would touch would turn to gold, and it hasn't. And especially when he has run off the people that are most needed at a company like Disney to actually turn things into a success. I think, as I've stated many times, that Bob Iger just seems to believe that sticking the Disney name on it, or one of their subsidiaries like Marvel or Star Wars or whatever the case is all you need to make people happy. I think Bob Iger's problem is he thinks very little of the audience out there. I think he thinks the audience is stupid.
Well, unless that audience is Chinese. If the audience is Chinese, he loves them. I mean, think about how much money they have taken through North American visitors to the Disney parks and then funneled out into the Chinese parks, which make essentially nothing for them. And they can lose them at any time, but it doesn't stop him. He loves it. Valiant, you spoke for a moment there about the Marvels. Well, I have some fascinating information exclusive to this channel. You see, in the past few days, the entire script for the Marvels has leaked. And Mr. H Reviews, a friend of the channel, has covered this at length, folks. Make sure to go check out his channel and see what's in the Marvels. We're not going to talk about what's in the Marvels here, except to say that it's laughably bad. Okay. I will say one thing that's in the Marvels. Folks, I know you're not going to go see it, but if you do, get ready for an entire planet that is musically inclined. So get ready for a musical adventure with the new trifecta of superheroes. No, you don't need Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. You've got those ladies on the poster. Boy, is it not going to be fun.
Maybe you just need Megan the Stallion twerking again.
Yes,
music,
absolutely.
So, yeah.
Add She-Hulk to the mix, please. But the exclusive here, Valiant, is that we've been paying very close attention to the number of search engine results for both South Park and the Marvels, because we're trying to assess, with South Park having come out, like, how big is this? Is this really popular with our group of followers and our audience? And does it have any kick anywhere else? And so we've been paying attention. And so one of the things we came out with recently, we said, oh my gosh, South Park has been hitting 8 times the Google searches versus the Marvels. And that went for like 90 days. And we said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, guess what? If we look at the results for the past week, it remains the same. In fact, even after, and you'll see that little blip there towards the end of the red line is the Marvels. That little blip in the red at the end, that's when the Marvels script leaked online. And that is the level of interest it generated. Folks wanting to know what happens. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? What's in that end credit scene? That's the blip. And then the blue line, of course, is South Park. And what that means, of course, is that as of the last recording of this, which was at 5 p.m. on the day of this video's release, South Park was generating 47% of its maximum generation from this week, and the Marvels was registering at 9% of that. So that's somewhere between 4 and 5. We'll call it 4.5 for simple math. It's about 4.5 times more popular South Park days and days into its release versus the Marvels, which is a forthcoming film you would think would be generating tons of excitement, especially as the scripted leak. Nothing. It's crickets. So I think that things are going to get much worse. I think we have the Marvels coming that's going to do very poorly. I think this is a sign of how bad it's going to do. I think that we are watching Wish, the animated feature film coming out. I think it's going to flop. I'm going to have the reasons for that in the morning. We're going to have a Disney earnings call that is in the light of this Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter duo attack against Iger. Where's the good, Valiant? Where is the good for Disney right now?
I don't know. I don't know. There's not much. I mean, if anything, there's good if Peltz can get in there and actually make a positive change, but that's something that is yet to be determined. We'll have to wait and see.
Perhaps we should be pumping in the Michael Jackson song. Gonna make it. No, we don't want to get this thing struck here, but maybe we should be pumping that in. I don't know. Maybe it's time for Iger to be the man who looks in the mirror and see that things are not going well for the House of Mouse. Valiant, you are going to be covering all of this, and lay out for us what the schedule is on your channel, because I don't know if you've noticed, the entertainment news is happening so fast that it's almost impossible to keep up with. You have the financial expertise to touch on some topics of extreme interest. What are they?
Well, I'm going to be going more in depth on this Nelson Peltz Ike Perlmutter thing Tuesday, and then we've got some other things to talk about with the Marvels and whatnot with the box office. That'll be coming out, either also tomorrow or later in the week. So just stay tuned on the channel. We got it coming.
Absolutely, and we are looking forward to all of your fantastic content. Cannot wait to see how things are playing out for the Marvels, as well as the future box office issues for Disney. Let's go ahead and make the bet right now. What do you say? Will Five Nights at Freddy's beat the Marvels on its domestic box office run?
Total run, or are we talking opening weekend?
We'll do opening weekend for fun.
I think
because we'll know the answer to that quickly. If we say the full run, we've all got to sit here for 6 months and be like, I don't know which one is. No, the opening weekend.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the Marvels are going to have a tough time beating Five Nights at Freddy's, so I'm going to go with Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll play the odds. I mean,
what's the budget? Budget on Five Nights at Freddy's?
20 to 25 million.
Budget on the Marvels?
250 to 300.
Things are going great for Disney.
Yeah, so great. It's talking about Disney having the biggest market share really in the theaters really means absolutely nothing. That's a marketing nonsensical thing. What matters at the end of the day, what really matters to actual investors, to stockholders, is, are you making money with this, or are we just pitching it down the toilet? Disney seems to be doing the latter.
Having the most market share at the box office while also having the largest losses compared to your competitors is sort of like driving a very nice car and hiding perhaps to your friends that you have a bank loan you can't pay and will sink you in just a few weeks. So yeah, you're not rich with that nice car. All right, folks, one thing that would make us very rich, though, in terms of our pleasure and enjoyment, click the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know what you think, and share with us, in that opening domestic weekend, will Five Nights at Freddy's defeat the Marvels? We would love your opinion. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, keep having fun, and stay tuned, because the thermostat on Bob Iger is about to be turned up.
This Halloween's definitely gonna be something.
Even after dead franchises like Marvel are like zombies, rotting corpses of their former glory. Dead, but still animated.
I wonder, are there any franchises with some afterlife qualities?
One Piece is almost vampiric, as it's sucking the life out of the competition. Yeah.
DC is kind of like Frankenstein's monster, with bits and pieces from everywhere and nothing is consistent.
I'm the ghost of Star Wars.
You know what would be a real treat this Halloween? Checking out WDW Pro. He's got all the sweet news on his Thursday live show at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Not to mention, his daily videos are a real treat.
Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars. Get it?
You know, we should go and make sure we're subscribed.
Guys, I'm the ghost of Star Wars.
And while we're at it, we'll ring that bell to make sure we're notified.
Great, let's go. Because, we actually care about that. Let's go.
Fact. Star Wars is not dead. It's haunting the staffs of Disney Plus.